I lost my job. I moved out of that state and moved to Colorado, and some people had introduced me to come to church. Something kept telling me that I should be on the security team at the church. You're just a volunteer. You don't wear a uniform or anything. And I was only there for a short 6 months, and then it happened. I wasn't going to go to church that day. I was going to stay home. Till I got up early the next morning, which was Sunday, December 9, 2007. And I was reading my Bible, and I decided to take a break, and I went and looked on the internet, and I had just noticed, just by chance, I noticed a real small sentence in the upper right-hand corner of my computer that said there was a shooting at this Christian facility that I was unfamiliar with in Arvada, Colorado. And even though it was 70 miles or so north of where we were in Colorado Springs, I just got instant chills, and I just knew he was going to come to New Life Church. So I called the director and I said, "Did you hear about this shooting in Arvada?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "I'm coming in." The description of the gunman was very vague, as typical. White male in his 20s, no height or weight, possible beard, possible glasses, and that's pretty much it. At about 5 to 1, I was standing in the front lobby, still very crowded, and a volunteer behind the big round volunteer desk says loudly, "Security!" And so I turn around and look at him, and he points toward the front doors, and he said, "That guy says there's something weird going on outside." So I go talk to this man, and he said, "Yeah, there's like a smoke bomb outside the steps." So I was just thinking, should I call the fire department, or what is this device? Is it a dud? Is it going to explode? And still trying to keep everybody back. Some people said it was one white male in a red car, and a couple people said it was three white males in a white car. And this is typical, cops know that we always get different witness information, so I was going to write down, make note of both. And so I went inside, and before I could start writing down the names, before I'd forget, the volunteer said, "There's another smoke grenade outside the cafeteria doors," which was far from where I was standing. And before I could even say another one, I hear this muffled pop, pop, pop noise coming from the east hallway, which was on my left. And the east hallway is over 100 yards long and 30 feet wide approximately, and it is the busiest hallway in the church. So I immediately go over there, and as I'm making my way to the beginning of the east hallway, these loud thundering cracks of a high-powered rifle just start ringing out, and I hear everybody screaming, and someone's like, "Get down, he's got a gun." And I thought that the gunman was inside our church. A taller security guy behind me says, "There he is, Gene. He's coming in the doors right now." Well, the gunman's entering the complete opposite end of the hallway where I stood. So he had been shooting through the doors of the church. So he was shooting into the masses of people. And so I pulled my gun out of the waist of my jeans where I keep it, and I just sprinted down the hallway toward him. And all of a sudden, everyone's gone. There was no one left in the hallway except for me and the gunman. And he's pulling open the second and last set of these heavy glass doors. So I took cover in this hallway on the right that was perpendicular to the east hallway that he was walking down. I put my gun in the high ready, and I was just going to wait for him to come up to me, and I was going to shoot him, perpendicular, and then I'd shoot him. I stepped up to the corner of the hallway, and I shouted at him, "Police officer, drop your weapon." And he turns toward me, and I shot rapidly 5 times and knocked him back completely on his back. And he sits up, and I walk toward him, and I said, "Drop your weapon or I will kill you." and he's shooting at me now. So we're shooting at each other. Obviously, I'm going to keep shooting if he's shooting at me. And then he tried to duck behind this hallway, and I couldn't lose sight of him, because then I'd have another situation. So shot him again for a total of 10 times. And I had told him, drop your weapon. I gave him fair warning, and I just knew that he could kill me, and then he'd kill those other people. So I had to take his life. So another security officer runs up and he said, "Go check the lobby." And he stayed with the body. And so I ran down in the lobby to make sure there was no more gunmen. I checked it and cleared it, and I saw the police cars start to pull up.
What we know is that a gunman opened fire here in the parking lot at New Life Church right behind me. People called for help at about 1:13 this afternoon, and police arrived here just a few minutes later.
The Colorado gunman, Matthew Murray is his name. He killed 4 people at a missionary training center and at the New Life Church, where you were just hearing the pastor speak. He apparently was on a mission to kill many more, but he was taken down by a hero by the name of Gene Assam.
I had never been involved in a shooting before. I'd had to pull my weapon just about every day in Minneapolis, anytime, day or afternoon or nighttime. You could pull your weapon in Minneapolis, and we usually did. But I've never been involved where I had to shoot anybody myself. So I just waited for him to ask the question. I just waited until we got to what happened, and I couldn't remember everything. But because I was immediately taken downtown, and one of the detectives took me home. One of the female detectives took me home, and she collected my clothes for evidence because they had his blood on them. I was taught that after you shoot somebody, handcuff, whether they're dead or alive. And so that's what I was trying to do. I did not run away, and I didn't think for a minute to run away. I just knew that I was given the assignment to end this before it got too much worse, and I just prayed for the Holy Spirit to guide me. I just said, "Holy Spirit, be with me." My hands weren't even shaking. I got a phone call from one of the secretaries at the church, and they said, "The White House just called, and President George W. Bush would like to meet you." And wow, that was amazing. So we got to meet President George W. Bush on January 31st of 2008, and he looked right at me, and he shakes my hand, and he says, "Good job, I'm proud of you." It was awesome. I'm sorry that people had to die, very sorry, and I don't want to make light of it. And to meet the President of the United States, for him to take time out to tell me I did a good job, that was an unforgettable experience. I'd like officers to know, male or female, it doesn't matter, just to know that the bad guy has nothing over us. We have more power than the bad guy. We have the equipment, we have the training, and we have the courage. I mean, that's why we became police officers. So never get a defeated mindset, and never let fear overtake you, because he's got nothing on you. We are the police officers. We are there to protect and serve, and we took an oath to do just that. And God bless SWAT, but don't wait for him. If you got an active shooter, you go in and you do what you're trained to do. And whether you live or die, you go in, because that's what you took an oath to do.